Hello viewers, welcome to UN College Digital class. In today's class, I am going to discuss about symbol table in compiler. In the previous classes of compiler designing, already I have discussed about the different phases of compiler and little bit about symbol table. In this class, I am going to discuss in detail about symbol table management. Let's start. Whenever you are writing a program and you are passing the program for compilation, what happens? The lexical analysis phase takes the program, and during that period symbol table is constructed. Symbol table is nothing, it is a data structure which is used to maintain all the entries related to the program. The symbol table carries the collected information about each named object in the program to other phase of the compiler. As soon as a name token is found, depending on the token type, a call to the symbol table routine must be made. It means that whenever the lexical analysis phase finds any proper identifier or operator or any sort of token, at that time a call to the symbol table routine is executed. Here I have represented the symbol table names. It means that what sort of entries or in which way the names are represented in symbol table, in which way entries are represented in symbol table. Those are variable and labels, parameter, constant, record, record field, procedure, array and files, etc. Here the symbol table consists of all these elements. Now we will discuss about symbol table attributes. What is the meaning of attribute? Each piece of information associated with a name is called as attribute. For example, suppose you have used one integer variable a, then a is the symbol table entry and the attributes associated with a are int, then whether it is local or global, it means what is the scope of the variable, etc. All are attribute. Attributes are language dependent. Obviously, suppose one language rules may be different from the other language rules. Accordingly, the attributes are different. Different classes of symbols have different attributes. Okay. Now we will discuss about what are the different types of attribute: variable, constant, procedure or function, array. Okay. In case of variable and constant, the attributes are type, line number, where declared, lines, where reference, scope, etc. Procedure, in case of procedure or function, the number of parameters, parameters themselves, result type, etc. In case of array, the dimension of array or boundaries of array. All those are the attributes. Now we will discuss about the implementation of symbol table. Each entry in the symbol table can be implemented as a record consisting of several fields. And we know that what is the meaning of record. Record consists of number of fields. It means that each record represents the token and its attribute. These fields are dependent on the information to be saved about the name. But since the information about a name depends on the uses of the name, the entries in the symbol table records will not be uniform. Obviously, the symbol table consists of number of records, but records are not uniform. It means that one record may consist of 5 fields, whereas another record may consist of 2 fields or 3 fields. It depends, each entry consists of how many numbers of attributes. Hence, to keep the symbol table records uniform, some information are kept outside the symbol table and a pointer to this information is stored in the symbol table. Here, pointer concept is used to maintain the uniformity among the records. Otherwise, it will be a headache for the operating system. Okay. Now here you can see that I have used one symbol table and how a pointer is used to maintain the data or to maintain the extra information related to the token. Here the token, suppose I have used one name, that is A, and it is int type, it is an array, and it needs some extra information to be kept in a particular order, and for that reason we are using one extra memory in which the information is kept and one pointer is referring to the extra memory unit. In this way, whenever you need to store extra information, one extra memory location is used and pointer is referred to that memory location. Pointer information is maintained in the symbol table. A separate array of characters called a string table is used to store the name, and a pointer to the name is kept in the symbol table record. It means that, for example, you are storing the information about an array, and in the symbol table all the information you cannot store. In that case, you are using one extra memory location. Let the name of the memory location is X. Okay, and what you will do, you will use the address of A as a pointer format, and you will store the address in your symbol table, so that whenever the compilation phase needs to extract the information about array, at that time they will refer to the location X by using the pointer. Here I have used one diagrammatic representation how the pointer is used and what is the meaning of string table. Okay, already we have mentioned that a character array or character set of character is used, which is called as a string table. The symbol table is used to store all the information, but in case of extra information we are using one extra memory location, and the pointer is mentioned in the symbol table. Now we will discuss one important attribute used in symbol table, that is scoping rules. We know that whenever you are declaring one variable, either the variable is local or global. We will discuss in detail in related to symbol table. The symbol table must be able to handle the scoping rules of the language. As we know that language differs on the basis of their rules, so here I have mentioned that the scoping rules of the language, accordingly the symbol table handle. Now, what the meaning or what are the different types of symbol table which is maintained by the compiler? A compiler maintains two different type of symbol table. Those are, let's discuss the first one. The first one is global symbol table. Global symbol table is the symbol table which can be accessed by all the procedure. The scope symbol table that are created for each scope in the program. Okay, here I have used two different procedure and one variable which is global in nature, and in the procedure also I have used some inner block, and then I will represent this structure by using a diagram so that you will be very clear about the scoping rules or what type of different tables are maintained in the symbol table on the basis of scoping rules. Let's start. Here first one is int value equal to 10, which is global in nature. Then inside void pro1, void pro1 is a function or procedure. Inside void pro1 I have used two variables, int1 underscore 1, int1 underscore 2. These two variables. Then I have used one inner block, and inside the inner block I have used int1 underscore 3, int1 underscore 4. Then outside of the inner block again I have used another variable which is int1 underscore 5. Then again I have used another inner block, and inside the inner block I have used int1 6, int1 7. It means that in the void pro1 method I have used 7 variables, and to end the 7 variables are declared or defined in different structure or different inner block. I have used two inner block. In one inner block 3-4 variables are maintained, and another inner block 6-7 variables are mentioned, and 1 to 5 these 3 variables are maintained in the whole block or in the block of pro 1. Okay, then void pro 2 procedure. In the void pro 2 procedure, I have used int 2 1, int 2 2, which is in the void pro 2 procedure. Then in the I have used another inner block. Inside the inner block, int 2 underscore 3, int 2 underscore 4. These two variables are declared inside the inner block. Then again another variable is declared outside of the inner block. In this way, here I have used 5 variables, and in the 5 variables, 2 are declared inside the inner block. Let's start the discussion about the diagrammatic representation. Here you can see the diagrammatic representation. In the global symbol table, what we have mentioned, 3 columns are there: symbol, type, scope. In the symbol type scope, these are the column, and the rows are pro 1, pro 2. In the previous slide, you have seen that pro 1 and pro 2 are two procedure. Okay, here you can see that pro 1 type is proc, means procedure, scope is global. Pro 2 type is proc, it means that procedure, scope is global. Then at the next hierarchy, we have used two different symbol table, one for the pro 1, second for the pro 2. Let's start discussion about pro 1, then we will go to pro 2. In case of pro 1, you can see that the first symbol table, 1 underscore 1, 1 underscore 2, 1 underscore 5. These are the 3 variables which are not inside any inner block. Okay, that's why these 3 variables are in the second hierarchy. Okay, here you can see that type is int because all are int variables, and you can see that scope is proc inside the proc parameter. Okay, these are the proc parameter, these are the proc variables. Which proc? Procedure 1. Then we will go to the next hierarchy of proc 1, and in the next hierarchy you can see that two different symbol tables. One is used for the first inner block, and the second one is used for the second inner block. In the first inner block, 1 3 1 4, two variables we have used, type is int and scope is inner. Okay, and in the second symbol table, you can see that 1 6 1 7, type is int and scope is inner. Obviously, for each local block, one separate symbol table. In this way, hierarchically it is maintained. Okay, now we will go to the second procedure, which one is pro 2. And in the pro 2, you can see that here first symbol table, it means that which is in the second hierarchy, 2 1 2 2 2 5. 3 variables are used, and type is int and scope is procedure parameter. Okay, these are means inside the procedure you can access all these variables. You can also access the inner block variables, but the inside the inner block only. Then in the next hierarchy you can see one symbol table for procedure 2, because only one inner block was there, that's why one symbol table. Number of symbol table will be maintained on the basis of number of inner block. And in the inner block symbol table you can see that 2 3 2 4, these two variables are used, which type is int and scope is inner. In this way, it is the diagrammatic representation of symbol table, and here it is clearly visible that the first one represents the global, then gradually we are entering towards the inner block. Already we have discussed some details about symbol table, how the symbol table is maintained, what is the diagrammatic representation of symbol table, what is the meaning of scoping rules, etc. Okay, whenever any phase of the compiler needs to search the symbol table for a particular entry, at that time the table is searched by using one specific algorithm, and the algorithm is, first of all, a symbol will be searched in the current scope, that is the current symbol table, because we know that there are number of symbol tables are maintained for global symbol table, for inner block, etc. If a name is found, then the search is completed, else it will be searched in the parent symbol table. Okay. Either the name is found or global symbol table has been searched for the name. It means that when a name needs to be searched in the symbol table, the current scope symbol table will be searched, and if the name is found, it's okay. If the name is not found, then the parent symbol table will be searched. In this way, gradually all layer will be searched, and at the end finally the global symbol table will be searched. And if the name is found, it's okay. If the name is not found, at the end error report will be generated. Now we will represent some representation of symbol table in memory. Actually there are number of different ways operating system may represent the symbol table in memory, but here we have discussed some sort of popular type of representation. Okay, the first one is list. In this method what happens, one array is used to store the names and associated information. And here what happens, one pointer, you may use any name to represent the pointer. Here I have used available. The pointer available is used at the end of all stored record, and new names are added in the order as they arrive. Okay, now we will discuss the another type of representation, that is linked list. In this representation what happens, a link field is added to each record. Searching of name is done in order pointed by link of the link field. Linked list, I hope you know about linked list in the data structure, and if you are acquainted with linked list, the very similar representation is used in symbol table also. Now we will discuss about one popular type of representation of symbol table, that is hash table. In hashing scheme, two tables are maintained, one hash table and one symbol table, and is the most commonly used, it is the most commonly used method to implement symbol table. A hash table is an array with index range is 0 to table size -1. It means that 0 to n -1. These entries are pointing to the name of the symbol table. Actually hash table is very popular one, and the next popular one is binary search tree. In data structure you must know about binary search tree. The same representation is used here. It is another approach to implement symbol table, and we know that binary search tree is very popular in searching. We add two link field here, one is left, another one is right. All names are created as child of root node that always follow the property of binary search tree. In this way, these four are the popular representation, most commonly used representation of symbol table. One is list, another one is linked list, another one is your hash table, and the last one is binary search tree. All these are very fundamental representation. If you have any doubt, then you may write me in the comment box. In this class we have discussed what is the meaning of symbol table. Already in the previous class also we have discussed that concept, but here we have discussed little bit in detail, and what is the meaning of token, then what are the attributes, how the token is represented in the symbol table, what is the string table, and also we have used one example to explain the scoping rules in both in example programming structure and by using one diagram. Okay, but still if you have any doubt, then please write to me in the comment box. Then at the end I have explained one searching algorithm, then some basic concepts about the memory representation of symbol table. In the next class we will discuss in detail about the binary search tree representation, hash table representation, and linked list representation. But still if you have any doubt, then please write to me in the comment box so that I can clear your doubt. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great time.